Hello, hello. I did it. I have been live every single day. Kelly comes home tomorrow, so that's it. It's a wrap on my live every day experiments. So tonight I want to go through and answer some of the questions that I've seen in the comments, talk to you about what I've learned, and just have some fun. If you have other questions or comments, just put them in down below and I'll try to answer them tonight. So here's what I've gotten done so far this week. I had my regular work I had to do. So, I've written some emails, getting things ready for Gathering Nations next week. Actually had a call with the Powwow today to talk about their live stream for next year. And so, all of that stuff's still going on while I challenged myself to a few things. One, go live every day. Check. Two, get our Margaritaville at Sea videos done. So far, I've been keeping track. I've done I've done 5 videos. I don't think all of them have published yet, but they're scheduled. So I got 5 done, and I know I got at least 4 more that I want to do. So I'm close on that. And then I made a goal to list 25 items on eBay. That one I'm a little behind on. I've only gotten 10 things added, but I've got some stuff on the desk, like a pair of my mom's old shoes that she never wore. So I'm still working on that. Hopefully I'll get that done before Kelly gets home tomorrow night. And in addition, I've been, also trying to get ready for, like I said, Gathering Nations, getting ready for my Facebook Unlocked webinar coming up in a couple of weeks and all of that stuff. So let's get started with the questions I've seen this week and some over the last couple of weeks. One, how many Roosevelts do I have, and do I have enough? Okay, look. I love these shirts. This is pretty much all I wear. This and a couple of Tommy Bahamas. So how many do I have? Not sure. I got 3 in the mail today. I did post a video on that earlier. I did get 3 in the mail today. There were 4 released today, and I didn't order any of those. And tomorrow is the drop for May the 4th. So I don't know. I may come out with some more, but I think right now I have about 60. Although I am planning on doing maybe some spring cleaning and getting rid of some of the shirts that I haven't worn in a while, and I've got newer designs. But I did bring a couple to show you my favorites. First, this is one of the ones that came in today. It's called Mickey Tile. It is little bitty hidden Mickeys here. If you can see, I do have little hidden Mickeys on there. Love the shirt. It looks like the tile work maybe in Italy or something like that. Love this design. Blue and white, perfect colors for me. Love the shirt. Okay, so here are my favorite shirts right now. They change, but right now. This was part of the Poisoned Apple drop they did several months ago, and this one is all Disney villains. We looked it up and actually had Brooke help me with this and Brooke and Lily helped me identify all the villains on here. I think they even used ChatGPT. I couldn't name them all now, but this has a pretty wide selection of villains. Love that shirt. And then this is a new edition. I bought this off of the Roosevelt Buy Sell Trade Group. This is called Santorini, and that just screams Greece, right? We did a European cruise where we went to Athens and some other Greek isles, including Santorini. Love this design. That's one I've been wanting to get for a long time. I had to get that on the Buy Sell Trade Group. And the other 4 I brought today are all Star Wars designs. So May the 4th may be an expensive day for me. We'll see. We'll start with R2 is probably my favorite character in the series. This one is called R2 Deconstructed. Absolutely love this design. Kelly's not a fan of this one, but I love it. And then I collected vintage toys as a kid. In fact, let's see. Can I do this? I have another camera here, and let's see. Let me switch to this camera, and I'll show you that, yes, I collected vintage toys. Hold on, I've got to... I'm learning Ecamm, y'all, and I haven't done everything exactly to fit all the stuff. But there it is. Look how easy that was to make sure that it was on the vertical as well. That's pretty cool. All I had to do was right click on it and tell it to duplicate for the vertical. And I'm going to resize it. I'm actually going to hit this button. You can't see that, but I'm going to change it to tall so that it fits the window. And then I'll resize. And then inside of Ecamm, they actually have controls for PTZ. What's it called? Pan tilt zoom cameras. But look, here is my vintage toy collection. Some of these I started, of course, these are some from when I was a kid, but also these are ones that I collected in college. So if you are a Star Wars vintage collector, you'll notice in this picture there are several really nice figures that some people would love to have, including on the bottom row there's Blue Snaggletooth. Right above him in the middle tray, that's Yak Face and Amanamon next to him. Those are some pretty nice figures. I was able to get those in college. Anyway, getting back to my favorite. So anything with vintage Star Wars, these are like instructions and ads that you would have seen in the back of comic books, in the back of magazines back in the day. Love that shirt. And then the next two are about Star Wars toys. Here is one. If you are familiar with Star Wars toys and how they originally came, they were on blister packs. In the background were these rectangles. So love that one. That one's called Figure It Out. And then my absolute favorite shirt of all time. This is one I bought on the Buy Sell Trade group as well. Actually, I had people in the Buy Sell Trade group help me track this down so that I could purchase it. And this is the most expensive shirt I bought. This is a collectible shirt, very highly sought after. Took me a long time. Actually, went online for some of the special drops, bought and sold some of the special drop shirts until I had enough money to pay this off. But this is Galactic Toy Box. It's all vintage Star Wars toys. I mean, how gorgeous is it? Oh, look at that. And yes, this is still new with the tags on. I have not been able to bring myself to cut the tag off yet. I'm saving it for a special occasion, and I will wear that. Oh, it's a beautiful shirt. That's question number 1. Hello, I see you've got some comments. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Appreciate it. All right. So let's go to question number 2. Question number 2 comes in a few different forms. A lot of times I'll just see people and they'll say, I thought you were on a ship this week, or why aren't you on a ship this week? Or how do you cruise so much? Oh my God, are you cruising again? All those questions kind of come in the same thing, but people do want to know, how do we cruise so often? Well, there's a few things. One, travel is we prioritize travel. So that's what we save up to do. And that has been part of what we've done all along. But with Kelly being a travel agent, there are times when one will know about special sales or different when things get discounted. Also with cruises, she knows when to book to save the most money. Disney, you got to book them when they first come online. You can save thousands of dollars that way. Our Margaritaville at Sea cruise last week was what they call a FAM trip, a familiarization trip. It was sponsored by the cruise line, and they invited a bunch of travel agents on. Kelly cruised for free, and I cruised at a highly discounted rate. So that happens, and other cruise lines offer those same kind of rates. Right now, she's at her conference's spring conference, and so the cruise line, worked with them to give them a special rate to get on the ship. So that's one of the things that helps, and being able to offset the cost for that. So that is how we travel, or am able to do that. What is some people want to know some of the coolest things I've sold on eBay. I mean, over the years, I've sold a lot of stuff. Recently, it's nothing too exciting that I've been selling on eBay. It's kind of boring stuff, like a pair of shoes my mom never wore. Cleaning out a closet, I found this price gun that back when I did a powwows.com booth at a few powwows, and these were actually, the price tags that you can and put on things. I found this, so I listed that on eBay. It may get $10. What else do I have sitting here that listed some old cruise lanyards. People actually do want these. I mean, they don't sell for much, you know, $10 maybe. So listing a bunch of that kind of stuff. The I think the craziest thing to me that sold, it goes back to my Star Wars. And as a kid, when I collected these Star Wars toys, like I said, they came in blister packs. Oh, that didn't work. Nope. Where am I trying to do? This camera. These things came on cardboard cards and with the plastic blister pack. Well, for some reason as a kid, I saved all of my cardboard. Now I tore the figure off and played with them. So that's one of the reasons I like collecting the loose figures, because that's how I had them as a kid. I didn't save them on the package, but I did save the cardboard. I don't know why. And so this has been maybe a year or so ago. I started selling off those cardboard pieces. What was I going to do with them? They've been literally sitting in a box for 30 years. So I started selling those. Well, a few of them sold for, $50, $60. But the Boba Fett cardboard, I think it wasn't the original, like the 12 back, which is the first set of cards that came out. I think it was a 21 back, which is the number of figures that were listed on the back of the card. So you can tell the time period of when it was released. I think it was a 21 back Boba Fett card with the blister torn off of it. I think it sold for like $600, which is absolutely insane. Billy Thorpe, the man who, if you're ever wanting to do Amazon influencer or product videos, go check out Billy's stuff. Billy, welcome. Thanks, man, for being here. But yeah, $600 for a piece of cardboard that was, the leftover packaging of a card. That was probably the craziest thing I've ever sold, because I thought those things were going to go for 25, $50 a piece. I had no idea. And when I looked on eBay, nobody had been selling those before, so I didn't know. I had no kind of frame of reference. Billy, if you've done whatnot in eBay, I'd love to hear what's the craziest thing you've ever sold. Billy probably has some stories too. Okay, question 3. People have asked, even though I have mentioned it on every live, is what do I use to stream, or how do I set up these streams here at my office? First of all, the setup I have worked on for several years. The back wall, the wood wall, my daughter Brooke and I did that. We put the wood on the wall during COVID. That was one of the projects I did when I was working from home. And then I've kind of built this studio over the years. I get the picture with the nice blurry background because I'm using a DSLR camera to stream. It is a Sony A6300 with a 16 millimeter 1.8 millimeter lens. I'm sorry, a 16 millimeter lens with an f1.8. So that gives me that nice blurry background and separates me. And thanks to Creator Camp, my friends at Ecamm and Creator Camp, I still have my Creator Camp bottle here. Somebody helped me come up with the idea of doing the lights for the background. I was struggling with that over the last couple of years of how exactly to do the lights. So I was able to add some lights up in the ceiling that you can't see right now. But I bet if I do, again, thanks to Ecamm, I'm going to take my PTZ camera and I will turn over here and zoom out, and now you can see. So yeah, so I have this light pointing at the back of my head, which gives me a little more separation from the background, and again creates that nice effect on me. And then I have 2 lights that are pointed at the backdrop. So that's the setup I have, and all of that is run on top of Ecamm, which is what I use. It is a Mac only product. Thanks to Ecamm for sponsoring this series of videos, as well as helping us do some things next week at the Gathering Nations. If you want to try out Ecamm for yourself, go to ecamm.com/powwows and save 15% off your first month of Ecamm. Billy's an Ecamm user as well. Met him at Creator Camp, Ecamm's conference. Highly recommend it. There are 2 conferences each year. I'm getting off topic, but there are 2 conferences each year that I tell people now that are on my must-do list, and that's Creator Camp and Momentum. Momentum is in October, put on by Lou Mangello. Creator Camp is in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and is put on by Ecamm. I steal this saying from somebody, and I wish I remembered who said it to me first, but Ecamm is a community that comes with a piece of software. Once you join the Ecamm fam, It's such a great community of creators and people who have any kind of question, any kind of problem. All you have to do is talk to the folks there, and they're willing to help, including the staff at Ecamm. They are fantastic and have always been more than generous in helping me figure out how to do things. Like even the graphics and the setup of this show. Katie Fox over at Ecamm, she jumped on a Zoom call with me, and we sat here and made these first time kind of setting this up. So thanks to them. Favorite feature in the new Ecamm, the newest version that just released recently, is the dual cam. Right now I'm streaming to Facebook in vertical. It's also recording in vertical and horizontal. This is a game changer for me. I think if you are any kind of video creator, you need to be using this, because being able to record in both formats, not just stream, but record in both formats so that you can repurpose to all the platforms is huge. Okay, next question. Because I have been experimenting with Facebook and posting a lot more on Facebook, especially on my personal, posting travel photos, posting these lives every day, people have been asking me a few questions. So I'll kind of wrap all of them up into one thing. And then people, and you see Snowflake, you want to make an appearance? She, look, isn't that sweet? She will sometimes pay me attention, but Kelly's not here, so she has definitely been a little more attached to me this week, and you've been sweet. Yes, she's taking good care of me, but also making sure that I wake up every morning to feed her. This morning, I was trying to sleep in, and at 7:30, she jumped on my chest from a high shelf and told me it was time to get up. Thank you, Snowflake. Anyways, so yeah, people have been asking me more about the Facebook stuff. Whether I heard from people saying, I don't know what to post on Facebook. I'd love to do more on Facebook, but what do I say? All I've ever used Facebook for was sharing family photos. So let's talk about that. Now, at the end of this month, I am doing a Facebook webinar all about what's working in 2026 and all of that. So if you're interested, just comment below. I'll tell you all about it. Even give you a coupon. There's an early bird still available. Anyways, so here's what I tell people. If you are a creator, if you're trying to grow your business, or whether you're trying to sell on Amazon, or trying to be a travel creator, trying to be a wedding photographer, whatever it is, you need social media. And right now, Facebook is the best place for organic reach. Yes, there's some other platforms if you want to do pure video that might be a little bit better, but Facebook, you can just post text and get incredible reach. I had a call today with two of my friends, and we were talking about that, and both of them are doing text posts primarily on Facebook. Both of them are in the millions of views per month on Facebook. Sean at But Mostly Disney has about 5,000 followers and seeing 1 million views a month. Michelle over at Fun in Key West is I think she might have 70,000 followers on Facebook. I can't remember. Correct me if I'm wrong. Go check both of them out. But she's getting millions of views on Facebook, posting text posts and photos. She said some of her text posts are getting 400 comments and getting 100,000 views per post. That's incredible. There's no other platform right now that you can do that. Why is this important? Facebook's giving you reach. They're letting you talk and build a following, build people to see your stuff and to get into your ecosystem. And on top of that, they're paying you to do all this. Yes, Michelle and Sean both are getting paid by Facebook. Now, it's not always, you're not talking about life-changing money, but they're paying you to do this. It can be life-changing money. There are people out there that are making $15,000, $20,000 a month just posting on Facebook. So that's why you should do it. That's why the time you need to be doing it is now. So how do you get started? What's the first thing you should do? It's what I told Sean. And both of them, we talked about this at Momentum, the conference I was just talking about, in October. And here's what I told Sean, and I think it is super important and super easy, is find some questions in your niche, in your whatever your topic is. And he's a Disney creator. So I was like, hey, Sean, what you should do is just post, and I've talked about this before, post a thing that says Mexico or Canada. And he went and posted that and got dozens of comments that day. And Michelle's done the same thing. She's just asking conversation starter questions. So how do you get started with that? go to Claude, go to ChatGPT, say, hey, I am a wedding photographer in West Palm Beach, Florida, and I want to reach more brides. Give me 10 conversation starter questions that I can do, and then schedule them out on Facebook. Easy. You will be amazed if you do that consistently what it will do to your Facebook profile. It's unbelievable. Anyways, that is a wrap on my live every day. The Say More show that I kind of doing the branded here, that is a weekly show I've been doing. So that will continue, as well as my podcast, Side Hustle Suitcase, which an episode of that drops tomorrow, showing you how to use a really cool WordPress plugin. So look for that. And I've got, like I said, I've got more Margaritaville Sea videos coming. And of course, next week, there's going to be a ton of content dropping here on my personal, as well as over on powwows.com, as we head to Albuquerque for Gathering of Nations, the nation's largest powwow, and the last time they'll have Gathering of Nations. This is the last powwow that they're ever going to do there at Gathering of Nations. So we'll be there for all the fun, bringing lots of videos and live streaming, all of that stuff. Thanks to Ecamm. So thanks for their support. Thank you for being here and watching these videos. It's been great hearing the comments and talking to people and hearing from you that you did watch. Thank you. I appreciate that. Have a great week. I can't wait for Kelly to get home tomorrow. So, pray for her. She travels home safe tomorrow, and get to go pick her up tomorrow night. Thanks, everybody, and I'll see you soon.